Hello everyone, it's your favorite FGC VTuber. Oh wait, if I'm gonna do the VC, hold up, everyone give me a minute. Alright, now we got the chibi. Anyway, so as you guys see today's video, so you guys already seen I've been posting out videos about, you know, the thing, whatever, we're not. If you want more in-depth details about them, like I said, some of them will have a separate video, specifically me talking about them. Feel free to check out the footage. I'm gonna put some footage as we're talking, right? And also, if some of them, they don't have parts, then that means that the gameplay in itself, I cut it so well, or were so short that I could fit in my thoughts at the end of it. Two of them where I went off kind of a bit of a tangent, and it was more than just the game itself, was definitely solo leveling. So I won't go too much, right? But I'll kind of summarize a lot of what my thoughts were overall, and also make like a tier list in a sense, right? But one of the first things I do want to start off is that I got tired, whatever, and there's even one that I was gonna add later that Kugler recommended, but I got so burned out that I was just kind of done at that point. But if anything, let me first show what the tier list is. Like, let me start by saying the overall. Now I got my thoughts, you guys here. So what did I think overall? Like, what if I could rate them? What would I put them? That would be here, so we could get my thoughts out, right? The tier list. So, and this is what, in a sense, what is this? Like, which ones do I like them? Because here's the best way to put it. Eclipsium, I'm just not gonna get. I already said before, it's not entirely my cup of tea. I don't really do horror games. It causes too much stress, whatever. But, and this is why in a sense, that's why we have the tier list behind, because I think there's different categories. Like, we'll talk about how well optimized it is, you know, or how good the game itself, whatever. But this is just my personal feel, how I feel about the games. Like, now that I have all my thoughts gathered and whatnot. And these two are on the side, and we'll start off with those, right? Starlight Revival, we already talked about why I didn't get a chance to play. I just primarily missed the window, and it's basically needs a beta. And then also here, this area represents where I think they would be, because at the end of the day, the gameplay didn't look all that special. Like, I think at best it would be a B, and maybe C. D if things don't go all the way. Like, I would say this much, I already said before, if it's a game where I need to be online, I just sadly cannot fuck with that, in a sense. Like, I would like to be able to play offline, and also it would kind of validate kind of one of the, I'm not gonna talk about the rumors, go check out the video, and I don't want to sit here and make false accusations and whatnot and kind of feed that fire. But if that is the case, then you guys will hear more about it. Because at the end of the day, and here's the thing, a common sentiment I see about this game, and this is the one I wanted to like the most, mind you, so you guys know I'm being fair. I wanted this to be at the top, you know. It's just the art. Like, literally, in the Discord and everything, everyone, we all like it mainly because of the art. Even other people who are like, I can't fuck with this game, they're like, but it looks amazing. Like, this is the kind of, like, this is a game made by artists first and everything else second, and it 100% shows. That's why I think at best, it's like a B. And it shows you that it comes from AAA devs, because AAA, there's like a chart, which shows what's the priority. I wish I could find it. I mean, I don't know if I ever downloaded it or not, or took a screenshot by that matter. I mean, hopefully I might post it up here when I get the chance. But yeah, I think, like I said, because I couldn't even really get a chance to play it, it sits around here where it could be. Airframe Ultra isn't a super alpha. Didn't really get much, but I feel like I could see it being an S, maybe somewhere A, B, get more of a chance to play on that one. Oh, I did forget one game, and that was the Deus Ex ripoff one. But regardless, yeah, this is ranked down. I would say almost like my enjoyment, or even likelihood of which one I'm the most hyped for in a sense. Like, because I said before, Wolfenstein 3D, whatever, super fun, but there's a lot of faults with it. Like again, controller support kind of spotty, could use much better optimization, right? You know, same with this one. But that's why, like, and it's funny, because presentation-wise, Spirit Strike is not the best out of these six. It is not. Like, 100%, it is not. But it's the one that I'm like, you know what, I fuck with it. Like, I can feel that, you know what, this is probably what I'd say my favorite, right? Then Phaser, I mean, obviously it's a ripoff Resident Evil, you know, and then of course we got ripoff Silent, well, there's two ripoff Silent Hills. This is more Silent Hill, this is like a variation of Silent Hill. But I feel like this one was more polished than this one in a sense, right? Or if anything, even these, better release. By the way, to even prove my point, I actually bought Spirit X Strike. It's on early release in a sense and whatnot. But like, it definitely has faults. It was goes to show you that at the end of the day, what matters more is the core of the game. Like, performance, it obviously could be better or whatever. And that's the thing, right? There's different tiers. There's like polish and optimization. And I think I will rate those on its own merit, right? So like I said, and yeah, like I said, right now, definitely probably the favorite one is Spirit X Strike. I actually like played this hard. Like, I was hard playing with it. And this is just chef's kiss. Nice take on the Silent Hill formula. Solo leveling, like, yeah, no, like I said, I like it. It just feels average. And it's actually funny. I feel like this is reversed. I feel like I should have put Halston. Like, Halston, okay, yeah, this is a super nice one. Solo leveling, yeah, par for the course. Be kind, like I said, if they could just tweak with how it feels to hit enemies, I would put it above these two, honestly. But that alone, because like a game feel, right? It's almost in a sense game feel. And if we could put that in this, and this would make a lot more sense. And it's crazy. Metal Eden would be right next to Spirit X Strike, but its faults bring it back so hard. Out of all it's crazy. I think out of all the games, like these two games would be much higher. I mean, especially Metal Eden, it is purely held back by its performance. Polish, it's no, like I said, we'll talk about that, but performance-wise, see, and this is why we have this, and at the end of the day, like I said, I really was getting a feel for this one. This one was more fun, but the feel for Eden was better, whereas Morbid, I wasn't really feeling anything, but I feel like, here's the thing, I feel like Morbid Metal kind of belongs up here, or even in A, but I wasn't really digging it. Who knows, maybe I need to play more of it, but as of right now, this is where my current excitement level is for it, right? Dungeons Keep, this one, I was, again, almost at the level of Starlight, like, it felt like a Dragon's Dogma in a sense, but man, did it. And I liked a lot of the ideas, but the performance, the polish, I'm not even bitching all that much about. But man, like I said, controller support could be a bit better, presentation a little bit better. But man, that performance leaves a little bit to be desired. You know, like, holy shit. Like, but Eclipsium is purely just like not my cup of tea. No hate on it. I do highly recommend it if you're into these kinds of things. I would rather watch someone play it. This is 100%, we're talking about preference. This is purely 100% an opinion, by the way. Mind you, there are some things to back them up, but regardless, these are 100% my opinions. Now, let's get into the first thing I want to say, right? So let's go into performance. So we're rating them, right? Which one was one of the best performing ones? I almost got to look back at my footage in a sense. I recall my memories. And if I recall correctly, the best performing one, it was definitely not solo leveling. Solo leveling was not that great. Actually, which one was the worst performing one? If I could put a finger on it. Maybe Wolfenstein 3. Oh, and then there's the settings and menus. That's a huge contributing factor, right? You know what? Let me stop and recall. Okay, I just remembered. I recalled. I watched real quick. I mean, I'm going to post them up here, right? But man, I forgot how good some of these were really performing. And mind you, there's going to be slight differences and whatnot, but if I recall, like, this is double making sure. I mean, I would just kind of essay, you know, because it's one. Because there's also frame times. I'm mainly more focused right now. Like, obviously, this game was fine, right? Phase 0 was definitely, they had no issues. Solid 60, you know, and of course, Halston had no issues. Also a solid 60. You know, I mean, basically all the super PS1 indie ones, all big surprise. They all ran well and they were fairly optimized. You know, for the most part, not cutting frame times. I mean, and if you want specific ones, you guys can go check out the videos. And I even mentioned, okay, then they had frame dips and whatnot. If anything, I think it's more interesting the ones that didn't run so good, right? Again, this one also ran pretty good. You know what? I'm just going to put them here. It doesn't matter because I ain't trying to do all that. Another one that also ran really good. Frame Ultra did run pretty okay. But, you know, I feel like it could run a little bit better. I mean, it's an alpha, right? But it ran fairly well. Another one that also ran pretty good was... Okay, I think we're kind of running out of ones that were... Yeah, this one right here. This one is up here in A. Ground. Airframe Ultra is the only one I feel like could run better, but it ran fine. Oh, this is another one here. This one also, I think it just needs better options, but outside of that, it held steady, no problem. We already seen the 300 FPS. I wish it had a lock, you know, and that's my performance, because the other thing is too that's not mentioned, why frame times are important, is what makes the game feel good. And if I were to rank these ones, like, it's hard to tell. These three, for the most part, felt pretty good. I think Murder, whatever, I think it's more demanding, ran the least consistent in a sense. Be Crown definitely could use a little bit better, like its frame times could be a bit better, right? But outside of that, it ran really fun. Heck, if anything, I should put it down here, right, next to these three. Now we get into the one. I see it's more interesting when we talk about the games that didn't perform so well at all, right? And number one, I think we can see which one did not run good, like, at all. And no surprise, and it's the one that is being held back the hardest, is, shit. Do I not have the screenshot here? Oh, no. Oh, never mind. Metal Eden. That game runs like shit. Absolute butt cheeks, bro. That game runs like that's all I gotta say about that, man. It's mainly just it's you know, like, it's like, sadly, the meme, you know, Unreal Engine 5, but that's more another game that didn't run so hot, or still isn't, even though I have it a bit higher. It's a tie-up between Dungeons Deep, because here's the thing, it at least can hold it, right? Like but for how it looks, it doesn't run that great. But one that I would say the most inconsistent, this one right here, dude. Solo Leveling has a frame pacing issue, bro. It's bad, and by the way, I checked it up. I'll post a video here in a shortly. But yeah, no, even on like DirectX 11 cards, it's still just 100%. It just needs to be optimized. It doesn't run that great. It feels fine. And here's the funny thing. This is why I say frame times matter. Like, this is, out of all the games that we're gonna mention, it goes all over the place. It'll be 120, 80, whatever. But its frame times means how quickly does it go back to thing. And out of all of them, like, yeah, because here's a better way to put it. Even though this runs worse than Becrowned, it feels not as bad as Becrowned. And it's funny because Metal Eden also kind of has the same thing. Like, see, that's a theory thing its own. These two, sporadic ass frame rates, but they feel better than Becrowned and Dungeons Deep. And I think part of it's just because of the fast-paced gameplay. And attribute to the frame times. But granted, Metal Eden, like, oh, no, you feel it. When it dips, like, here's the thing, with Solo Leveling from 120, whatever, okay, it goes and it kind of goes away. But with Metal Eden, like, oh, no, you really feel it, and it really interrupts with the gameplay. That's the only reason I would say it's definitely worse, but not. I mean, again, it doesn't hold as high in FPSs. See, this one, Solo Leveling has a higher FPS than these two. But for some reason, this shit just dips harder. I mean, at the end of the day, you could just cap it hard, but it still, like, has a dipping issue. So, like, it doesn't perform that great, so... Another one, I hate that, again, this game also super good. It kind of has the same issue as Solo Leveling. And especially, and I think the other reason, who knows, I could put it lower, is that it doesn't look as good as Solo Leveling. Like, this one 100% needs to work on... It doesn't dip as bad as Solo Leveling, for sure. But it is sporadic and erratic, right? It has a higher FPS than this one. And here's the thing why this is definitely higher. Even though its visual presentation is nowhere near the level of the other two, is that it doesn't dip as hard as Solo Leveling, and it's not as low as Metal Eden, and it feels better than both of them. Like there are times where, like, in the gameplay flow, which is impressive. Like, let that FPS be stable, bro. Actual cook. Another one that did not also do as good, and here's the thing, I would argue this one had a couple for, and again, this is the funny thing, I think this one, I don't know where I would exactly put it. I mean, it wasn't as bad. Like I said, it felt a bit more, this one is more demanding. Like, this one is like, okay, it's like Metal Eden with, like, Spirit Strike in a sense, because the presentation's as good as Metal Eden, and it has a lower it has a lower frame rate than Spirit Strike, and but it feels slightly more consistent, but it doesn't feel as good as Spirit Strike. If you're asking me personally, I would put Spirit Strike over Metal, but looking at them subjectively, it's like I have to kind of give it the Morbid Metal, even though, okay, it has a lower FPS than Spirit Strike, but the presentation really makes up for it, in my opinion. You know, that's really something you got to take into account in a sense. But regardless, at the end of the day, you know, this is just on performance, and none of them all that great. What's another game I would say? Oh yeah, the Deus Ex one. The Deus Ex, again, I don't know why I don't have the thumbnail for the Deus Ex ripoff in here for some reason. That one, I'd put somewhere in here in D. It could be a lot better. Like it has the high frame rate like Spirit Strike. It doesn't have good frame times, but it's not as sporadic. Like all of these games have an issue where the frame rate refuses to lock. All of them. Whereas the other game, the Deus Ex ripoff, also refuses to lock, but it's not as bad as any of these at all. That's why I would put it in D for the Deus Ex ripoff. Apologies. Also, shout outs to the dev. I think he actually gave a like in the video. But yeah, outside of that, like these, it was so nice seeing these games be pretty steady. Like, Crown has the worst frame times probably in my opinion, but the three, like, solid as fuck. Airframe Ultra, like, almost there. Eclipsium, like I said, just locked the frame rate and we're good. And then I guess we'll make another one. So that's that. This is just performance, right? Performance. Now, what about presentation? Now, if we're gonna rank by presentation, I gotta give it to Metal Eden. That game's presentation is absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I mean, at the end of the day, and it's funny, I don't feel that crazy about it, but this game, good presentation. Morbid Metal, good presentation, you know? Good presentation. I mean, art's another whole nother thing, right? But, oh, I mean, heck, look, if we put Starlight Revolver, that's also absolutely amazing presentation, right? I mean, art and graphics are two different things, right? And that's what's really hard, because if we put art, like I said, I guess we'll talk about it, right? Presentation, I mean, this game, Starlight Revolver, 100% belongs up there. This game, love it. I mean, heck, I think on a like I said, presentation, right? I guess we're talking about in terms of polish, right? Like, if we're talking about polish, you know, like, yeah, we'll just say polish and presentation is kind of, it's like kind of an in-between of polish and, yeah, so this is just presentation, and then from there, I will describe, okay, polishness and then art, right? Because those are two different things. This one, okay, presentation is good. Like I said, we'll put A, but it's not, I feel like it's not quite up to par with the other ones in my sense. The Deus Ex game, I will put like in C or D, you know. This game, I mean, let's just be real. It doesn't have the craziest presentation, but we'll give it a C because I think it's more of an artistic game than it is a game that you would look like, oh, okay, you know. Be Crowned. This one, presentations, again, I would definitely give it a B. I personally like it, but the presentation, and it's funny because artistically, I mean, it's not the hardest artistic. I gave it an A, and even graphics-wise, more of a B because it's PS2 era. But like, here's a better way to put it: like the atmosphere is strong. Like if we were to say presentation in terms of what the game's trying to represent, these two are strong as shit. Right? Even Metal Eden, right? And Metal Eden's the top because it encompasses all three. Like, it doesn't have the craziest, most representative art. Like, this one, the art on this one goes hard. And its presentation isn't crazy, too. Like this one goes hard. It's a hardcore PS1 and PS2 aesthetic. Like, you really feel it. And Be Crowned, not as much. It feels like a PS2 game that was ported to PS3, you know? But in terms of atmosphere, the strongest out of all of these. Hands on. So I gotta give that to Be Crowned. Even though I'm giving it a hard B, like, oh, man. Ooh. Actually, this one, Phase Zero, that it's contemplating up here, there, but we'll just say A for now. I think, heck, stronger than Airframe Ultra. But, like, again, similar to Be Crowned, atmosphere is amazing. Like, if we're talking about atmosphere, these two are easily some of the top, you know? And it's funny, because Morbid Metal, I feel like it tries really hard to have an atmosphere, but I just kind of don't feel it. Like I said, I just don't feel much for Morbid Metal. And, okay, presentation, yeah, this game, contemplating between C or D, so we'll just put it here, right? Like, the presentation 100% leaves quite a bit to be desired. What was like 3? I love this game. Love this game. Presentation's not that amazing. Like I said, polish-wise, no. Like, these two have a lot to lack, but I think what really brings it is if you're into that Wolfenstein kind of thing, right? So I guess kind of in a similar vein, like basically, like I said, if we're talking presentation, if you were to show this to someone, how much could it impress? Like, oh my god, you know, can it catch? And yeah, these three, no, people will look at them and not be, you know, and with these ones, like, okay, obviously Metal Gear, AAA game, $60, you know, oh shit, $60. This one maybe 45, right? But that's strong. Even this one, that's what I mean by presentation. Like, how do you know that people will see, oh my god, right? And these four, strong as shit. You could look at trailer and be like, damn, yo, that shit. Airframe Ultra, unique gimmick, you know, in the cyberpunk aesthetic, maybe a bit too strong on the PS1, but it's a personal aspect. Whereas this one, I could see people, even if they're not PS1, PS2, they can, like, same with Phase Zero, right? I think this is a great way to put it. Be Crowned, you could put stuff in, oh, whatever. These three, nah. Like, you show this to the average consumer in a trailer, it's not gonna catch their eye. It's not gonna catch their attention. It just is not. Halston, again, I would say B as well, and presenting. Like, to me personally, I give it an A, but if you show this to people, they're not, I mean, and part of it is due to the inherent angle, whatever, but yeah, and mind you, I feel like it's a bit too pixelated, even by my standards, right? And it's just me trying to be as objective as possible. Like I said, I personally would put Halston in A or S, or high A, but I'm looking at, okay, see, mind you, this is one of my favorite ones. Probably. Yeah, no, actually, the weakest presentation out of all of them, mainly because the polish is very, very... And it's funny, I think this is super... I mean, I can see maybe it could be up here in B, right? Because of the core game. Like, here's a better way to put it. You show a trailer, you have to show gameplay. Do not show anything but gameplay, bro. Do not show animations. Do not show cutscenes. This is objectively the worst one out of all of them. You already seen how high it is. No, like, you can at least see Dungeons Deep, like, oh shit, that looks neat, right? Like, if you show some stuff, whatever, show, like, if you show, basically, if you show the whole game of Dungeons Deep, you're like, oh, that looks jank, right? You show yeah, this is great, actually, now I think about it. If anything, I'd put it above Eclipsium. You show certain parts, like, I mean, I was convinced that Dungeons Deep looks sick, like, good job on the Twitter dude for doing a great job to convince people better. Like, he's doing an amazing job with his marketing, right? But I'm just being honest when you really get a full look at it. But you look at Dungeons Deep compared to, oh, hell no, bro. This shit looks more polished, and in reality, I would say Spirit Strike is more polished than Dungeons Deep. But you wouldn't be able to tell with the janky ass Unreal 3 fucking animations on that shit. Oh, solo leveling? Oh, I'm surprised I didn't put solo leveling. Solo leveling, yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Easily, it has the best polish out of all of these games. There's no discussing. I mean, it has a bigger budget, but you look at it, it's not as interesting as these three, in my opinion. It really isn't. It doesn't give you, it doesn't have anything like, okay, just generic anime game, whatever. Like, here's a better way to put it. To certain normies, they'll like solo leveling over this, especially Mongol fan. Some people are like, oh my god, like, you know, like, I feel like gamers would be more appealed by Murder Wife than solo leveling, which I'm pretty sure I'm spot. But, like, you know, again, we're talking about a glance trailers. These two would be in, like, again, very polished, whatever. But yeah. I think that's all the games we got for here, right? That's polish. Like, or presentation, right? This is what I would say presentation-wise, right? If we're talking art, number 1, Starlight Reviver. That's not a question. Number 2, definitely Wife, SS Wifes, whatever that fucking name is. Halston has a heart, good direction. Phaser, I don't want to say it's the artsiest game, but I would say, yeah, I mean, obviously, so I would say, like, you know, so number 1, Starlight Revolver. Number 2, Murder of Wives. I feel like these two are kind of in a similar vein. Like, there is an art direction. I would say Morbid Metal has a heart. It's because it's a sci-fi aesthetic, right? So it's hard to really see the art in it. But I would put Halston and Big Crown. Like, I would say Halston, right? In, like, A. And I would kind of put these two in B. Big Crown maybe above it because, again, they kind of, okay, they kind of, like, sort of, there's definitely art there, but it's not, like, a strong art direction. Airframe Ultra, definitely A. Phase Zero, low A or top B because at the end of the day, it's, like, it's again, it's doing the Resident Evil thing, and Resident Evil, by today's standards, would be no different than Metal Eden or Morbid Metal or Brick Crown, if we're being honest. Eclipsium, I would say A or B. Personally, to me, it's a B. To a lot of people, it'd be like an A, right? Dungeons Deep, B. It's generic Dungeons & Dragons, nothing special. Wolfenstein, also top B, actually, because it's just Wolfenstein and whatever, but you could really feel the direction, if that makes sense. Spirit Strike, hard A. Hard fucking A, right? Again, purely brought down by its presentation, right? And mind you, this is, again, that's different, like I said. This is presentation, which is an overall summary between art and polish. Those are two very different things, and hopefully I discussed that on what polish and art. And I guess if I can think of any other tier lists, I mean, that's all I can really think of. I mean, we already did performance, right? And then that was my personal preference. And also, you could also say that as a fun, what we saw earlier, the one that I made. But yeah, those are my overall thoughts over these. Like, and even then, if you go back to my main tier list, right? Like, because it's not a full recommendation, but it's also in a sense, like, it's also in the sense that where I feel the state of the games are right. Like, wait, buy, whatever. Like I said, I believe in Spirit Strike because I think the core of the game is fun. Like, if I were to say, if we're talking about in a finished state, you know, that's another great tier list. Yeah, that's even better. If we're talking about finished states, I mean, yeah, we already did too much. I'm not going to do all that again. Which ones feel like they're actually fucking finished? I mean, I want to say Solo Living because it's polished, whatever, but at the end of the day, to me, frame rate's a good indicator. If we're talking about these four, like, do a little bit of, like, again, polish up your menus, maybe tighten the frame rate a little bit more, give me more options, maybe do something, whatever. But these four, they don't feel that far off from a finished product. These four right here, like, yeah, that's a finished product. The rest of these feel like they need work. This one, not as much. This one, okay, this one feel like, if we put it, these four are S tier. They're like, okay, that's a finished product. Eclipsium and A, like, okay, you just need to lock your frame rate, you're a finished product. Not these, because these are definitely alphas. Metal Eden really feels like it's in a beta. This feels like a beta. Morbid, or if anything, again, alpha. Morbid Metal feels above Metal Eden. Wolfenstein and Spirit X Strike feel like they're in C. Like, they feel like, okay, no, you guys still need some work. Dungeons D feels like it needs a lot of work. That one out of all of them, to me personally, feels like it needs the most work. Next to, if anything, I would say Wolfenstein is barely above Dungeons Deep. Barely. Only because its FPS is better. But they 100% need to work on the presentation. And again, their controller support. So, see, I almost forgot about that, too. The controller support. See, these four. Solid controller support, no issue. Spirit Strike, for the most, also pretty solid. Same with solo leveling. Metal Eden, actually, if I don't recall. You gotta check my video about that. But yeah, and then these two definitely, like I said, I only have so many. This one is just an alpha. I can only say so much, right? That one, and it's funny. This one, like, even though it feels more polished, like I said, than some of these and whatnot, but like because of the way the demo was, I'm like, oh, this feels like a hard pre-alpha, not even an like it's like, oh, this feels like a testing room. You know, that's just my personal feel, right? But yeah, these two, like for sure, because they're like, okay, you guys, these two need way more time in the oven. That's how I personally feel. Who knows what it is? But yeah, at the end of the day, that's your competition, right? And especially when you're going to be pricing, right? If we're talking about prices, like, at the end of the day, it's super subjective. So let's be real. Solo leveling, they'll want to charge 60, right? But let's be... and here's the thing, right? Here's the final thing I want to get off my chest about this. And this is why the way it feels and everything is that solo leveling is probably, quote, if the FPS was stable, this would be on the top. The most polished, finished, oh, it's a product. But it doesn't feel... Even though I have it here, this is what I want to say about this, about solo leveling. Even though it's even higher than all of these, it just feels like, okay, this is a game I play, whatever, right? Like, here's a better way to put it. I would put this, like, B, maybe top C. It's like, okay, whatever. But all of these, this is what I want to say about all of these, right? So none of you developers feel bad, whatever. They're fun. Like, solo leveling didn't feel as fun. It had its moments, but like, okay, whatever. This feels like I said, either a low B or C. But the rest of these, man, you can feel the passion behind them. And this is what I can't stress enough. They will charge 60 for this. But in my personal opinion, all of these are worth more than this. And this is the state of gaming where we're at now. This is why I make these things. Presentation matters a lot more and whatever. And here's the crazy thing, right? Phase Zero, Be Crowned, remember about it. Phase Zero, Hollow. These two games, because of their style and the way they're played, same with Starlight Rivalry, these three, they might put more money. There might be more work than any of these other games. Objectively, you cannot price them higher than 25 or 35 for the average person. They look at, oh, fixed camera angles, tank controls. Oh, top down. That's an indie game. But Metal Eden, Solo Leveling, Morbid Metal, just these three, $60. 1000% because of their presentation. They could get away with it. These other ones, they could get a bit higher, like Murder of a Wife because of their art, whatever. Even Spirit Strike, okay, yeah, it is or whatever. Maybe $45, $50 if you, again, that's why I stress enough, really get your polish. Like, these two are kind of okay, whatever. And in Wolfenstein, these two definitely feel like a $30, $35. And it is a crazy thing, even though their presentation and art is not at the level of what I mentioned of, you know, Starlight, Be Crowned, whatever. It's the fact that they're fully 3D. Like, people really give a shit about fully 3D games, bro. You know? Eclipsium, nope, it's fucked. Again, this game is fucked. That is a $20 ass game. It looks like a Game Boy game. Like, heck, the average person will buy it on sale for $10. You know, but you could price it at 20. That's a whole nother story. I mean, that's a price tier list, right? But at the end of the day, the game, I mean, we already see the list here, man. Look at this. Look at the top ones. Like, I mean, heck, if anything, I'm surprised I put solo leveling so high, honestly. I mean, mainly because I haven't put the co-op. So, like I said, we reversed this. But at the end of the day, as an experience, I do value an experience, right? So it goes to show you. And it's like, I do value good controller support and, you know, again, Metal Eden would be higher, but it runs like shit. Morbid Metal, I just don't feel anything. You know, who knows? It might be better, so no offense to Morbid Metal. But at the end of the day, like I say this, solo leveling, if we're talking about feel, it goes in, like I said, C, D, E, B. But all these other games, you could feel the passion behind them. I think Metal Eden, not as much, no offense to Metal Eden. Morbid Metal, I just didn't really feel anything, but it doesn't feel passionless. Like I said, I put it B. Like, these two are solid at B, solo leveling behind them for sure, though. But, like, Dungeons, Darkenstein, these, like, you could feel, like, oh my god. But whereas this, with these four, I would say these top four, and especially this one, you're like, it's fun. You can feel the passion. It's fun, and I want to keep playing. The reason this is at the top, it's like, this is addicting. Spirit X Strike is the most addicting out of all of this. Like, basically in the sense, like, if you had to pick one, oh, bro, Spirit X Strike, you win. Phase Zero, obviously, huge Resident Evil fan. That's what I'm like. And this one's like, even though this is way more Silent Hill, I'm like, I just really like the gimmick of this one. Halston, I do also like, but I just don't like it as much as the other ones, right? But yeah, that's a better way to put it, is that you guys take this away. These are just tiers, whatever. And it shows you a crazy weird balance. Like, yeah, I can like your thing. Again, Be Crowned would be higher, but please feel better, because at the end of the day, that's the thing that's going to keep me back. I might like your gimmick, but what is your execution? And that's the thing. These two, I really, really do. I want to like Dungeons Deep. Darkenstein is fun as hell. I really want to fuck with this game. But we need a fix. You need to fix your issues. You two really need to, and this is why I can't stress for these two especially. These two, I believe, belong up here with them. But you need to run. You know what I'm saying? Like, I cannot struggle playing your game. Like, and that's the thing, that this is why optimization really matters the most. That's why, to me, some of the best games of all time have a solid FPS. I cannot stress that enough. And mind you, this game can do a lot better, for sure. It needs to, but the thing is, again, frame times, whatnot, and optimization is such an important feature of gaming. In the same, solo leveling, it would be barely higher. And here's the funny thing. If solo leveling was more optimized, it wouldn't put it that much higher. I'm gonna keep it a $150 because the core game just doesn't feel that fun. Heck, I'd say it's one of the better AAA. And here's a better way to put it. Sorry if I'm all over the place. Solo leveling truly feels like a kind of AAA game, right? Like a generic, you know, arena fighter slop you get, except it's way better. And it doesn't keep me coming back for more. And I just don't have as much fun as I did with some of these other games. Like, and again, these three were brought down by their performance. All right, these two, okay, this one 100% was way more because its FPS was solid. FPS wise, Wolfenstein was solid. I don't know if I put that. My apologies. It had a solid FPS for the most part. Could be a bit better, but for the most, it was good. Again, better FPS than all of these for sure. But the polish, like I said, polish, controller support. This one, polish, FPS, and controller support, bro. This had all three, right? Like I can see myself getting Darkenstein in the future when it gets better. And I would put up with the keyboard, but I can only play this in short bursts because it hurts my hands, right? If they get fixed with the control support, then okay, whatever. You know, I don't give a shit. I'll fucks with it, right? Because the core game is just fun. You know, I don't give a shit. Same with this one. Like, this core game is so much fun. And it doesn't feel as... and it's weird. I feel like the maps are more polished, inspired Strike, but everything else is more polished than Wolf Darkenstein, right? Like the story, presentation, everything they cooked. And like I said, I wish this game did what they did and did their cutscenes instead of what they did. They should have just done like stills and stuff. But yeah, and again, Morbid Metal's biggest issue is just I didn't get a feel. You know, I feel like I have to play more of it. Plus, I was at the end of the line. I was getting kind of burnt out on the demos. So for Morbid Metal, we can give this one more of a chance. I mean, we'll see. At the end of the day, if we're gonna rank them, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's been really long. We'll see at the Greatest Gamer Awards. You know, this will be up there in the list of top 10 indies, whatever, and we'll have Kugla be doing the voice as special guest. But yeah, I have a lot to say, and I think putting these all in one go and in a tier list will really help convey how I personally feel. But at the end of the day, like I said, all of these are wish. I unwishlisted Starlight Revolver until I see if they fix their issues, because at the end of the day, that is a core issue. And I think that matters way more is that you need to be pro-consumer. Please let me play offline. That's not cool. And no, that's not a demo. That's a goddamn beta. But again, I mean, shout out to some of the devs that seem like they're really passionate. And again, a lot of us are looking forward to it. We'll see my thoughts. Like, we'll see hopefully when we can get another beta or demo, whichever it actually is. Because at the end of the day, like I said, the game itself, from what I was seeing, it looks like it was mid. I expected it to be. And that's fine. At the end of the day, I want to support indie devs. And it's just like, you know, I can only give so many fucks. Like I said, I said, feel, it'll either be B or C. I don't see it being better. I mean, here's a better way to put it. It'll be at about the same level as solo leveling, right? And it's not surprised because this has some AAA and then some AAA, right? Because this apparently... Same with this one, Morbid Metal, you know, it's got... Maybe that's why I don't feel much. It's just something about games by AAA or former AAA developers that doesn't hit the same as fully indie developers. So that's your note, you guys. That's why I think maybe I don't feel anything for Morbid and Solo and Starlight. These guys kind of don't know what the core of what a gamer game is. And all these other ones, mwah, fucking nail it. I think it's at the end of the day to a degree. Here's a better way to put it. These guys clearly are not creatively bankrupt in the art department. I don't think they know shit about games or how to develop. Whereas these guys are learning as they go. I think that's what it is. They're learning so they can push the envelope. They have these tools. They're not as... Whereas these guys are just... These three are just going to do what they've been doing for years. And they don't realize that in a creative industry, you have to mix it up. And not just, you know, they're like, okay, we're going to mix, again, Starlight, oh, we're going to do this different. Like, okay, we're going to do generic game, whatever, but we're going to have the art different. You know, whereas all these games like, hey, what if Wolfenstein, but in a 3D thing? That's way different than just, oh, whatever. Whereas this game, I think they call them, beat 'em. I forgot what they're called. I don't care for the genre. I don't know what the name of the genre is. They said, okay, let's do the same thing that everyone else is doing, but with this aesthetic. That's not special. You know, that's not special, right? And then this one, solo leveling is, okay, let's take a decent action arena fighter and make it like an MMO, and that's it. You understand? And that's the I mean, Morbid, I don't play enough. And that's the funny thing about AAA games that we see is that let's do the same thing, but with a different coat of paint. It's like, that can only be so fun, right? Like, say, that's why like I have a feeling that these two are like hard Bs, and Morbid maybe a high B or a low A, right? Whereas all these other ones, like, mwah, it's a fresh take on something that we know. Like, it's true. Again, best example, that's why I think SSR Vibes is on top of, I would say, Becrowned. Becrowned, like, oh, if you really want a Silent Hill game, boom, play Becrowned. You want a unique take on the Silent Hill formula, play SSR Wives. Same with Phase Zero. Heck, if anything, I'd say SSR Wives is more unique than Phase Zero. But yeah, that's it. I'm sorry, ranting on too long. Those are my thoughts. Hopefully I edit this decent enough, and hopefully you guys enjoy the chibi. And remember, every day is great when you're chibi.